Okay, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk about social studies and how we can embed things like civics, social justice, and community-based actions into our teaching. I hope you can see this. Right. So, social studies is a great opportunity for us to have assignments that matter, that really make a difference. And this is what we want to engage young children in. We want them to, we're not just thinking about getting them through first grade or second grade or third grade. We want to develop them as citizens, good citizens who are going to make a difference later on in their lives and continue to do that. Okay, so here's the table of contents. There's 3 different things we're going to go through, and you're going to see these things within our module as well. You're also going to have an opportunity to do a recorded demo lesson plan on something related to one of these topics. So as I'm going through the presentation, think about what you might do. Make sure that the presentation has a hands-on, student-centered activity to go along with it as well. Okay, so civic engagement. How can we support young children in becoming responsible and engaged citizens? How can we help them explore issues that matter to them and to our world? And what kind of community-based activities can we plan to help meet these goals? Advocating. So civic engagement, social justice, and community-based activities can help children learn the importance of advocacy for themselves and others. And that's really important. So right now, as teachers, part of our job is to make sure that we're advocating for our students and for their families. But something really powerful that we can do is to teach children how to be advocates and how to have a voice. And that's really, really important. So our first task is we need to teach children about civics. What is civics and why do they need to know about it? So this is really interesting. According to a recent study by Deloitte, I can't say this, Access Economics, global citizenship is one of a critical soft skill that will account for 2/3 of all jobs in 2030. So not only do our students need to be creative and innovative, as we've talked about in prior modules, they also need to be global citizens. So what is it? What is a global citizen? It's a person who's aware of the world and their place in it. They respect diversity and work against social injustices. So they're fighting for equity. They want to make sure that, human rights are a priority, and that their needs are met as well as their families' needs are met. And it's not only about them and their family, it's about everyone. And how can we support and help and make our world better? And realizing that there's different perspectives, different thoughts, different actions, all of that. So what are some attributes of a global citizen? The first thing is they need to be flexible. Know that one way does not work for all, and sometimes they need to be thoughtful of differences. Actually, always they need to be thoughtful of differences. Another attribute of a global citizen is they're creative, and we talked about this in prior modules. They're practice looking at solutions in creative and inclusive ways. They're not doing things the way they've always been done just because that's how we've always done it. They're looking to find new ways of thinking, new ways of doing that make things better. And global citizens are problem solvers. They seek to solve real-world issues and use critical thinking to do so. And they also use communication and collaboration. It's those 4 C's: creativity, critical thinking, communication, collaboration. Those are global citizens. And that's what we're helping children develop. So what can teachers do? First of all, you can find out what students care about. What are the issues that matter to them? Ask them questions about what they would like to see change. Provide them with resources and tips on how to make change. Include in your class library many books about civic engagement. Use vocabulary such as civic engagement, global citizenship, global citizens. Talk about roles and responsibilities first in their own classroom, in their homes, then in their communities, in their states, in the country, in the world. Provide them with projects to take home, like interview a family member and ask the family member questions about what does it look like to be a good citizen. All right, here's our task number 2. We want to teach about issues like social justice and equity. Remember, we're trying to develop advocates. And it's okay to teach young children big ideas. That is so important. We don't need to protect them from things. We need to provide them with big ideas and big ways of thinking. They can handle it. So first we want to find resources. There's so many different resources, and I have these linked within our course, but this one I've been using for a really long time, and it's teachingtolerance.org. Actually, tolerance.org is what it comes up at. But there's lots of free resources. There's magazines and publications. There's tons of classroom resources, teaching strategies, printable posters for your classroom. They offer grants. It's a wonderful resource. The other one is rethinkingschools.org, which is also fabulous. A lot of good publications and tips on how we should be thinking about schools. And then this one I just found, I had not seen this one before, but Teaching for Change, building social justice and starting that in the classroom. Lots of different places where we can find these resources. So did you know that there's social justice standards? So tolerance.org provides social justice standards, which are linked within our course, and they're also linked right here. So it's really important to kind of know what the standards are, find out ways that we can use the standards, embed them in lessons that we're doing, social studies lessons. You can turn the standards into essential questions. Real quick, we'll just look at the standards. Actually, I think I downloaded them in the course. And this isn't really working. But there's actually definitions in there too that you can look at, activities that you can implement. So here's a diversity standard. Students will express comfort with people who are both similar to and different from them and engage respectfully with all people. I mean, that's something, we can definitely talk about. That's a big idea that we can talk about with young children. So task number 3 is planning community-based activities. Again, we want our students to be global collaborators. Children learn to be global collaborators through community-based real-world problems. Ways that you can engage students: you can have community projects, create service learning opportunities, provide lots of experiential learning, hands-on learning. Collaborate with other communities, schools, have students ask their family to get involved. Create project-based learning and give students choice in coming up with their ideas. And that's all I have for now, but I'm really looking forward to seeing your recorded demo lesson plans and how you're going to incorporate all of this into teaching science. And if you have any questions, contact me. Thanks, and have a great, happy day.